Hello and welcome to HMO Safe Software. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough and overview of the software and how to get off to an easy start and enjoy the various functions that should save you considerable time in compiling your reports. The first thing to note is the global navigation system across the top. You can use this at any time to navigate to any part of the software. Now, before we get started, I'd like you to have a look at the admin section. So tap the admin button. And near the bottom, you have a collection of manuals. I'd encourage you to read at least the user guide, which has details of how to get started with the property. Now, before we get started, there are some basic precepts that, when you understand these, will make sense of the software. Number one, you need to have created at least one new manager before you create any new properties or new audits, and that would be the manager record for yourself. You can only add a new property to an already created manager. You can only add a new audit to an already created property. So it goes manager, property, audit. You can have as many new properties to an already created manager as you want, and you can add as many new audits to an already created property as you want. You'll only ever need to input the manager and property details once, and you can amend or update the manager or property details at any time. So let's get started. Tap the Managers button, and this should have the sample record. To get started with your record, tap New Manager, and let's enter some details here. Now, you'd put your details in. Let's create something. And you want to have, at the very least, an email address. You can add notes to the manager record as required. Tap on New Note. And additional notes are stored with the newest note at the top. These fields are scrollable. If you wish to delete, tap the X here. If you wish to edit a record, just tap inside and you can edit the note field. Okay, so that's the manager record created for yourself. So now all you need to do is create the new property records. So tap New Property, and this creates a new property that is linked to your manager record, as you can see here. So 22. Risk type, if it's an HMO, your local council, and then you fill these sections in to the best of your ability. So we'll say this one is 2 stories, 5 occupants, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, smoking permitted, no, fire alarm grade, smoke alarms, heat detectors, firefighting equipment. Peak occupancy, if you know this information, it is useful. So 1800 to 800 when they leave for work. You don't have to put that if you don't have it. Audit frequency is the frequency of the audits, 2 months of this one, and if you have a first audit required date, you can enter that here. Certificates stroke tenants, this is where you can capture information about expiry of gas safety certificates, portable appliance testing, etc. Any details about your lead tenant can be entered in these fields. There is a hazard assessment, so you tap that tab, and you simply work through the questions, placing your answers on the right. lighter fluid under kitchen sink, etc. And you just scroll through the questions until you're done. Any notes can be placed here, and when you're finished, tap back to property. You're now ready to create your audits. Tap New Audit. And we simply need to progress through the questions. So we'll put an audit date here. There's a time if you want to put a time. Inspector would be your name. Just a little hint for you on this field here. When you've tapped it, you can tap Edit, and then you're able to enter your details here. Tap OK. So next time you create an audit, you can choose from the drop down rather than having to type it. Should save you some time. This button here would take you back to your manager record. This button here back to your property record. Any job notes can be entered here, and then it's simply a question of going through and filling in the compliance. Any notes you have can be placed here. Now this actually might be a major deficiency, but we'll leave that as it is for this example. Minor deficiencies are identified with an exclamation mark. Major deficiencies broken system. Major deficiencies are highlighted with a red X and also are highlighted in a red block with white writing. So continue working your way through the questions. You are limited to 9 lines of text in each of these fields. Additional notes can be placed here. At the end, you'd place your name here, and when you tap in this field or this field, this is where your signature goes. On your iPad, this will open up a signature field for you, and at the very end, give the property an overall compliance rating and tap Save and scroll to top. Now at this point, you can tap PDF Audit. This will create a PDF and email it to the email address shown on the manager record. And that completes the overview of how to create an audit. If you want to create another audit for this property, you would simply tap New Audit, and that creates a new template with the same address. For simple navigation, Managers brings up a list of all the managers, and you simply tap on the one you require. You can enter search details here. Tap Properties, gives you a list of all the properties with the audits shown to the right. Tap on either the audit or the property, or you can search for the properties, then tap on the property and you'll be taken to it. And the same for audits. Search field here, and you can tap straight on the record to go straight to it.